today's show, which is all about marriage. We're going to talk about the things that you need to consider before you get married. What to think about before you say I do. Is that person marriage material? And red flags to look for before you walk down the aisle. So, welcome my special guest, Miss Janice Burton. Hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of the Stubbs Show. It is your girl Stubbs, and I thank you for joining me here. But I'm getting ready to bring my special guest on. But before I do, I wanted to make sure that I do a proper introduction, and then also make sure that I just thank you guys for joining me here for another episode. Where today's show, as you saw, is all about marriage. I know we want to get proposed to, women and fellas. You might be ready to get down on that one knee. Christmas coming up. That may be your Christmas gift, is to give her a ring. Or ladies, you're hoping for that ring before Christmas or at any moment now. But we're going to talk about some things that you need to discuss maybe with your partner, with yourself, with your family, if you have children involved, and things that you need to take notice and recognition on, because sometimes we think about that wedding day and walking down the aisle and what dress we're going to wear and who we're going to invite and where we're going to host it at, and posting it on social media, and sometimes the competition of competing with other people without thinking about, okay, what am I doing to prepare myself for the longevity of this marriage? Am I even prepared to be in a relationship? I know with me, I want to get married again at some point in my life, but there are so many things that I am still holding on to from my past. And then there's things that I notice that I don't want to go into from my past to have a repeat cycle. So this show is not just for me, because I do the shows for me too, but it's mostly for you guys, because I know I'm not getting married anytime soon. Not at least within this next year that I can see. Now, the universe can do something else. But as for me, I don't see that happening. So I'm getting ready to do the introduction. Well, let me bring my special guest on, and then I will tell you guys more about her, because she's actually in the studio waiting. So we're going to introduce her to the stage. Good afternoon and welcome to the Stubb Show, Miss Burton.
Good afternoon. How are you? What's going on?
I am good. I am good. I see that your energy is great and that you are
Yes,
ready. How was your day today?
I had a great day. I worked today, but I am ready for this interview. I'm ready to pour into the people, and it's great to be here tonight. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and thank you for joining. So let me go ahead and give you your proper introduction so that the people can know. First of all, you're coming hailing in from Austin, Texas. Thank you for
Yes, come
joining
on, Texas.
us. I just got back from Texas 2 weeks ago, Houston, Texas. I have to come back so I could do Austin and Dallas.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us from Texas. Miss Burton is from she's a marriage planning mogul. Let me go down to this. She speaks and coaches to empower relationships by coaching and equipping singles and
yes,
engaged couples to have healthy, meaningful love relationships and to properly plan for their forever marriage. Did you hear that, you guys? Forever marriage.
forever,
I'm telling
forever.
you, these marriages are like
Come
30-day
on.
processes, with these TV shows, 30-day marriage and
Yep.
same day stuff going on. People aren't taking marriages as serious, and then they put all these thousands of dollars and money into the wedding only
Yeah.
for it to end before you get to pay that debt off. It's crazy, right?
Yes.
It's crazy. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. What made you want to take that leap of faith and get into helping people with marriage situations, whether that's dating or engaged?
That's a great question. Thank you. It really starts from my own experience. I got married when I was 22. I was
Mm,
right out of
I know that
college.
story.
I think somebody knew about that, right?
Yeah, I said I know about that story.
Yeah, that that college love, and we got married. 22 years old. And at that time, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I knew what love was. And I think at that time, for what I knew love to be, then
Mm-hmm.
I did know. But what I didn't know is the real purpose of marriage. I didn't talk about covenant. I didn't talk about some of the components and dynamics that need to be discussed before you go to that altar, because I just didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And our marriage ended in divorce. And then about a year or so later, we got remarried.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. How long did the first one last?
11 years.
Oh wow. Okay, that's not bad. Not a
Yeah.
bad run. Okay.
11 years. And then the second marriage lasted 12 years. So we were married for a total of 23 years, two marriages, two divorces. So
Any
um,
kids?
one child, one
Okay.
child.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So that's a blessing out of the marriage. And I'm not here to talk of anything negative, but when you're young and you don't know what you don't know, but you think you know what you know, it could end up in a situation where you're going to divorce court. Some people can make it work. It just depends on the two people.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't encourage anyone at that age to get married. But anyway, I woke up one morning in 2018 and I was reflecting on my life. I was looking back at some of the things I wish I had known before I got married. And I started to write those things down. And over the course of the days and weeks and months, I just continued to write those things down and just ended up with a lot of content. And I feel like God led me to write the book so that I could help some other people not fall into the pitfalls that I fell into at a young age.
Yeah. Like I said, I know that story. I was married at 23
Oh, yeah.
because I thought I knew marriage, and also it was the right thing to do. And I was in church, so I did it
Yep.
for all the wrong reasons, and
Yep.
not knowing how to, and not being equipped to handle it, for years and years.
Yeah.
So we were together for like 16 years, but the marriage part lasted
Mhm.
for 7 because we were together as teenagers.
Okay.
2 kids. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because one of my questions that I was going to ask you is, what would you say is like a good age for someone to start thinking about marriage, and why?
I think a good age to start thinking about it is maybe your mid 20s, and just start to learning about some of the dynamics of marriage. What does it take for a marriage to last? What are some of the components? What some of the things you have to deal with? What are some
Hmm.
of the things you have to sacrifice? Learning about compromise and what that means. Learning about a great communication, learning about listening, learning about serving. A lot of people don't talk about when you become married, you become a servant. And a lot of people don't like that word. It just means to serve. And I
Hmm.
think if each person serves one another, everyone is going to get their needs met. But a lot of people don't talk about it and we don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand that marriage has a greater purpose than
Hmm.
just having sex or going on vacations and all the great things. That marriage really is a ministry. And that's not necessarily a religious word. It just means that two people are coming together to build something. And there's a greater purpose in this world for your marriage other than just y'all having fun.
Hmm. I would agree, and that having that, a lot of times that loneliness plays a big part,
Yeah.
where people, we were just talking about this on my last show with the relationship coach. A lot of people don't know how to be with themselves, so they
Yes.
go from, that relationship of having that person to sleep with every night, to
Yep.
depend on for your problems, that dependency, and people rely on that. You listen, you said mid 20s. I was going to say, don't even think about it till 30, and don't perform it until 35. But
Hmm.
then I think about the people that want to have their children
Yeah.
and babies, and they want to grow
Yeah.
with them. But I'm just like, it's
Yeah.
just so much to learn about yourself,
That's right.
loving yourself before you jump into that relationship. Because the goal is to be there forever,
Yeah.
to be there forever. And it takes work. So my
It
next
does.
my next question to you is, what are 3 things that people should consider before saying I do?
Wow. That's a loaded question. But yeah, I think I'm a faith-based coach. So I think first of all, prayer, really taking that time to pray and consult God. In my case, is God, the Father Almighty, and really taking your time. I think you have to, like you said, get to know who you are. Who
Hmm.
are you? At the core of who you are, who are you? And not your name, not your title, not your status, but who did God create you to be? And do you know what your boundaries and expectations are? Do you know what your value system is? Do you know what you really want out of life and out of the marriage? Take the time to really dig deep and do some introspection with yourself first, because you cannot join together with another human being if you don't know who you are. That it's
Ooh.
going to be very challenging. So definitely know who you are, and then take the time to really learn who that person is.
Mm.
Don't rush into marriage. It's nothing to play with. It's not a joke. It's not a game. Take the time to meet that person's family, meet their friends, talk to them, do some research, do a background check even. I said yes, do a background
Yes,
check.
Lord.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you ain't never lied about that.
Do a background check. Yes. And if they have a problem with that, then they might be hiding something. I would be okay with someone doing a background check on me. If that's something that was really important to them, yeah, go ahead and do it, because I'm not hiding anything.
Mm.
So, I mean, if there is something in your past, go ahead and put it out there. And if the person wants to deal with that, that's fine. But if they say, well, no, that's part of my boundaries. I don't want to date someone who's been in prison, or I don't want to date someone who's did X, Y, and Z, then you have to let that person decide for themselves. But be honest up front about anything in your past that could come back to haunt you.
Yes, that is so true. And like you said, just be honest with yourself that when that person says, I have a problem with you getting a background check, or they get upset about it, you need to put up an alert and say, wait a minute, but why?
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
I'm ready to join last names with you. And like you said, marriage isn't a joke, because you're joining debt. You're joining your future endeavors. You're
yes,
joining your last name. You're
yes.
tying your identity into this person, and they are a reflection of you. You are a reflection of them. And then also, like you said, their family.
That's
You got
right.
to pick up that family. And
That's right.
sometimes that can be the breaker.
Come
Okay.
on now. Come on. And a lot of people say, "Well, I'm not marrying their family." Yes, you are. You might not marry their family, but if there are some family dynamics that they are going to get in the middle of your marriage. So that family piece is very, very important. That you meet their family and you see how they operate and navigate in their family. You get to talk some of their family to see what the values and morals are, and see if people are going to respect you and respect y'all. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very important.
Especially when it comes to those men and those mama boys, because you may say, well, I'm not marrying his mother. Let me tell you something. If there's a problem that his mother had with you, and that discussion goes on with him, and he comes home and you wondering why he got an attitude, or y'all arguing over something that the mama said, is
Yeah,
because you married that mama too, and you
that's
just
right.
didn't pay attention to that. So that's a big thing to pay attention, like you said, in faith. Just seeing where that person beliefs are, because
Yeah,
you go marry someone who has total disbelief, opposite beliefs in you, and here it is, you were raised a certain way, you praying
right.
on this, and now he's offended by you praying over him and
Yeah,
for him, and now you doing voodism and witchism and devilism, and now you sleeping with your own enemy.
enemy. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a lot of stuff that people have to pay attention to. So those were good three things. So many women don't mind attending counseling before marriage, but there are plenty of men who say no to it. Um, what is a future bride to do in this type of situation if she is adamant about marriage counseling before the marriage?
I say do not back down on what you believe in terms of counseling. If that is a deal breaker, if that is important to you, if you're adamant about counseling, and this person that you're thinking about marrying does not want to counsel, they're adamant about not counseling, y'all are not on one accord. And
Mm.
that's not a good equation. That's not a good formula for marriage. You cannot even start the marriage if you're not even on one accord about counseling. So I would say do not back down on that. If that means y'all don't get married, then that's something you have to talk about and consider.
Yeah. And then you'll see how much he's willing to compromise with you,
Right,
because if you back down from that marriage and say I don't want to be married to you because you won't go to counseling, and he won't say, well, baby, I'll try it, but it has to be a female or a male, or I
right.
have to pick the counselor, they
Yeah,
have to be this type of person. That's showing you, okay, well, he's compromising, I'll go his way a little bit. But if he's just like, well, I ain't doing it, whatever, that
right.
lets you know you might be getting into a very controlling situation,
Controlling. Yes.
very
Yes.
controlling. And those are the things that people don't, it be those small things that people don't take notice to
That's
before
right.
marriage. And then you find yourself going through a divorce, and you're like, but why? Well, you saw those things before
In the
you said I,
beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you decided that I can change him. That's the thing. I can change him. So the saying is that a man should know if he wants to marry a woman within 6 months of dating her. What is your opinion or response to that? When they
You
like,
know
what
what?
do you
That's
think?
that's that's a great question. I actually agree with that because I think a man knows even before 6 months if he wants to marry you.
Mm,
He knows. He knows. It doesn't take a man long. And he men are very they're very quick learners, and they're very intuitive. they
mm,
they know what they want. They know how they want it, when they want it. And if it's you, they know it. If you allow them to string you along, if
mm,
you allow them to not define the relationship, if you allow that, they're gonna just let you, they're just gonna let it go. But
mm.
definitely, I think a man knows. I think he knows even within 2 or 3 months if this is a woman that he wants to marry. He knows if you are marriage material for him. He knows that. Yes, I agree with that.
Okay, that's what they're saying. And so, what about after the engagement? After he put a ring on it, because everybody like he put a ring on it. How long should it
Single
be?
ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, so after about 2 or 3 years, some people have been engaged for longer than 5 years. What do you say to that woman?
Every situation is different, so I don't want to judge a situation. I just feel like if a man wants to marry you, it doesn't take 5 years. It doesn't take 7 years. It doesn't take 10 years.
Or
Again,
20?
right. If you allow it, if you allow it, they'll go with it. And women, we have to know that we're the prize, and we have a say so into our future and our lives, and we should not allow a man to string us along like that. It doesn't take that long. No.
And then when you say string it along, that sometimes that ring came because he did something bad, and that was an apology ring to
Yeah.
hold you in longer so that he can say, you know what, you're gonna keep helping me pay these bills, you're gonna keep laying up with me, you're gonna keep being my
Yep.
daddy for a little while, and
Yeah.
you take that ring when you notice, hey, he's stringing you along, ladies.
Yes.
When it is, and the same for men, because some women string along.
That's
I
true.
know for me, I would probably want a 1 or 2 year engagement. And that's only because if I be honest with myself, I'm
Mhm.
not probably ready to get married right now.
Right.
And I just need to accept that because it's the fear, of other things. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. So is there any amount of time that's too soon to get married? Because you have some people that do it like it was
Yes.
30 days.
Yes. I think anyone who gets married within 3 to 6 months, I personally think that's too soon. I really think you have to take your time, and you have to pace yourself, and you really have to get to know this person. You all really have to sit down with a professional and talk about, you can call it counseling, coaching. I call it marriage planning, because I actually help you develop a plan that you can take, and you can go back and assess it. It's a written plan that you all put together in 7 areas. And I think you have to take your time to do that. so that you really do understand some of the things that you might have to deal with in life, some of the things you might have to deal with in marriage as it relates to family or your finances or even your physical bodies. Your physical bodies might change. What happens if I do lose a limb? What happens if I do get sick? Are
Mhm.
you committed to me till death do us part? And I'm not talking about you killing me and I'm killing you, but natural causes of death. Are
Yeah.
you in this? Are you committed and dedicated to me? Are you going to honor the covenant that we said I do? Are you going to honor those vows? So you have to sit down and talk about these things. And you really have to consider some of the, not just the good stuff, but the things that might be challenging. And are you in it for the right reason?
That was deep. That was good. It's almost like and we you guys get your pen and papers out because before she goes, we're going to go into that planning and making sure you
Mhm.
can get a copy of her book and connect with her for your counseling needs. But it's almost like you need a marriage will,
Yes.
because you plan for afterlife, but what
Mhm.
about the right now life and being with that
Right.
person? Just like you said, if you lose your leg and
Right.
you the breadwinner and you driving these trucks and now on your arm and now you can't drive, am I willing to stay with you? And if
Yeah.
I gain weight after you get me pregnant and I have that baby, are you still going to be attracted if I can't get back down to 120 or 150? If I go up to 200 now, is that off? So that's good. We're getting ready to take a quick break, you guys. Here on the Stub Show, I see you guys coming in and logging in. As I get some time, I'm going to see about so I can check on these other platforms to and see the questions and things that you guys are putting up. But I thank you guys for joining me here on the Stub Show. We're getting ready to take a quick break, and then we're going to be right back here on the Stub Show. Let me add this in. And here we go. Y'all know I'm still getting kind of new to this system, but here we go. Let's hit it. All right, you guys, welcome back to the Stub Show. I hope you guys enjoyed that brief break. As stated in the break, if you would like to have your commercial or your event announced throughout our break, you can just email us at the LOF Network at gmail.com. And remember, you guys, every time our guests reshare this or somebody else on one of the platforms reshare the show, your promotion will be played. So it's a great way to connect with new people, and these shows are repurposed and reshared all throughout the week and throughout the month on our Stub Show platforms. So you guys make sure you stay connected with that. But we are getting ready to get back into our interview with my special guest, Miss Janice Burton. She is from Marriage Planning Mogul.com, so, and you can check out some of her services at marriagemogulplanning.com/services. You can also connect with her on Facebook. Let me get into that. At Marriage Planning Makes Sense, and on Instagram, Marriage Planning Mogul. So,
Yeah.
welcome back to the Stub Show. Before we left, we were talking about a few things that people need to think about before they just go and say, I do. And we know in this day of time, I'm seeing more people get married and then divorced within 30 days, that
Yeah.
it's not encouraging others to actually want to get married again or get married. It's like, hold up, let's
Yeah.
just stay in this covenant, let it be what it's going to be for what it is. We don't have to walk down that aisle. But I think that marriage is a beautiful thing when it's planned out and done properly. And that's why we need advice and to connect and build
Mhm.
a marriage plan with people such as yourself. So many states, I'm actually skipped that one. What are some of the signs that a person should look for to determine if someone is actually marriage material?
Yes, wonderful question. A lot of things. I'm going to just name a few. One, do you all share the same spiritual beliefs? And we touched on that a little bit earlier. Do you share the same spiritual beliefs? I think that is so important. It's going to be super, super challenging if you don't. If
Mm,
you believe one thing and the other person believes something else, how can two walk together except they agree? So that's the number one thing. Do you share the same spiritual beliefs? Is the person honest? Do they have integrity? Do they keep their word? So,
mm,
the old folks used to say, your word is your bond.
yes.
Do they keep their word? If they tell you they're going to do something, do they do it? And if for some reason they can't do it, a legitimate reason they can't do it, do they communicate that in a clear way?
Mm,
But do they keep their word? That is super important. You want to look for things like, are they stable in terms of their livelihood? Do they have a stable job? Do they work? I'm not saying that they have to make $500,000 a year unless that's what you want. But do
right.
they have a stable job, a stable income? You want to look for, like I said, do they have friends? Do they have a good relationships with most of their family? I know we're not going to have good relationship with all of our family, but do they have a good relationship with most of their family? What are those family relationships like? Those are some of the most important ones: the honesty, the integrity, the spiritual connectedness. Do they keep their word? You want to look for some patterns that might be red flags. If the like inconsistency, are they inconsistent or are they consistent? Do they say good morning every morning, or do they go 3 or 4 days and you don't hear from them? And
And
then,
not to interrupt, but I wanted, because we're gonna get into those red flags.
okay,
This is one of my questions. But when you brought up, do they have friends? That in the livelihood, people would say, oh, they don't need friends, or you think that, oh, you just want them to yourself. No, ma'am, no, sir. You are going to get, I don't care how much in love you are for those first months or
right,
year, you're going to get tired of that person just like
right,
anything else, and you're going to need your space. And if
yes.
the person does not have their own life, they don't have their
Ooh,
own friends to hang out with, then everything with
ah,
them depends on you, and it becomes a headache. Am I right or wrong?
you are so right. You are so, so right. I saw a couple recently on some show and they were saying they do everything together. We do everything together. That's because they were newlyweds.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say, listen, that's going to get old. That's
Quick.
going to get old real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need your own life. You need those things that you enjoy. You need your own friends. You need to be able to go out and go to the gym with your friends or go out with your friends. He needs to go golfing with his friends. The trust needs to be there that when y'all are apart, you trust what he's doing, he trusts what you're doing. But you have to maintain some level of individuality in your life. There's
Mm.
no way that y'all are going to do everything together 24/7, going out every day. No, I
It's gonna
think that
become
I
a
think
headache.
that's very unhealthy in a relationship.
And if that marriage dissolves, it's very unhealthy for those people to now move forward because
Yes.
the codependency of that person.
Yes.
and
Yes.
and, and like you said, the integrity, you got to watch that piece real good, because
Yes.
you need to, although it's something that may please you or something that y'all agree to do, you need to pay attention to if it's the right thing to do and how
Right.
this person treats other people, because how they coming to you when they frustrated and mad, and how they
Yeah.
going to treat people, and how they going to hold up to their word and things of
Yes.
that such. That integrity plays a good part, because that's the same way they're going to treat you years down the line when they
That's
get
right.
upset with you.
That's
Ain't
right.
you learn the most when you go through a divorce. Not
Yes.
saying that the second time is the best time, but at least you walk into that knowing that, and
One.
listen to people that, when people say don't listen to a woman that been divorced, baby, that's the one you want to
That's,
listen to. Because if she did that institution for some years, anything
yes.
10 years in that institution, she got some gems for you that you need to take heed to.
That's
Because not
right.
only that, she know how to stand and stay,
Yes.
because she did over those 10 years.
Yeah.
And she's going to tell you something that you need to hear, like that integrity. And
Yes.
those things you want to pay attention to, that having sex and being in love and gullible don't,
Yeah.
that covers your eyes to,
Yeah.
when you're dating. Because we get real gullible women when we get into that dating season,
Yeah.
especially after years of it. You tell us something, we be ready to I know with me, I fall in love so quick. I have to tell myself, hold up, girl. But
Hold
see,
up.
I fall in love quick, and I also fall out of love quick. So they weigh each other out. It's like, baby, you want to slow down with me, because
See,
if I get into it quick, you better believe I'm gonna be getting up out
that's
quick.
right.
So take your time. Be different with me. But so merge isn't easy, and people are. Oh no, let's go into the red flags. So what are some of the red flags that women should look into before walking down that aisle, and pay attention and walk away? Those
Yeah. And yeah.
big flags.
Yeah, some of the same things, that the dishonesty, the lying, the
Mm.
lack of integrity, the inconsistency. If you can only talk to this person at a certain time at night or a certain time during the day, that's a red flag. Because there might be a whole other family over here, or something's going on.
Okay.
You want to look for, those patterns of inconsistency. You want to look for, do they have friends? And if they don't have friends, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Because
And
we
why they
all,
don't have people that they can introduce you to?
right.
Somewhere is hiding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are they controlling? Do they have that controlling nature? And sometimes that controlling piece can be subtle, but you really need to pay attention to that. If they're wanting to tell you what to do, how to do, it's one thing to try to help people, kind of assist, but if it's in a controlling nature, you really want to pay attention to that. That's not good, and it's
Mm.
only going to get worse. I promise you, it's only going to get worse. Those are just a few of the red flags. I have something I call deal makers, deal takers, deal breakers. You need to know all three, and you need to stick to your boundaries, stick to your expectations, stick to your values, your morals. Don't compromise on your values and your morals. Don't allow another person's um, lion nature to throw you off from what you believe. So
Mhm.
definitely look for the dishonesty, lack of integrity. The if they don't have friends, if they don't have good relationships with most of their family, that's a big red sign. If all they're concerned about is the physical, how you look, your hair, your nails, your body. If they're constantly making negative comments about your body, because like you said, if I gain a little weight, is that going to be a deal
Yeah.
breaker for you? Are you only concerned in how I look on the outside? Are you more concerned with my inner being, my inner spirit, my inner soul, my integrity? So yeah, you definitely want to look for those things.
Yeah, because and the heart is weak. A lot of times the heart will forgive over and over and over,
Mhm.
instead of looking at the eyes and following the mind for what you actually see and what you're
Right,
feeling and what you know is wrong. Like you said, have some deal breakers in there, something to say, you know what, I don't care how long I've been in this,
right.
how I'm so into you and want you. I gotta hurt myself now before I hurt myself more later. And
Yes.
that be the thing for me, is
Mhm.
allowing myself to feel the pain now. And I tell women, because you do these 5 years of trying to change a person,
Right.
fix a thing, trying to pour into it, trying to
Mhm.
make it look like what you want it to be, and
Right.
force when you come up out of that, you feel even worse because
Yeah.
it's like, damn, I should have put that into myself and invest
Yes.
that into myself. So my last question before we get into your book and the services that you provide and how the people can connect and work with you. Um, well, I think I want to ask this one too. Many religious women stay in their marriage because the Bible speaks of infidelity being the only way out. But what are your thoughts on if a woman is being verbally and physically abused?
Man, that's a great question. First of all, let me say that physical abuse, domestic violence is a crime. That's against the law of the land. The Bible also talks about the laws of the land. So we have to rightly divide the word of truth. If you are being physically abused, that is a crime. I would encourage any woman who's in that situation to get help immediately, to go to the authorities immediately, and to now, you know, in giving this advice, I'm not giving you advice telling anybody what to do, but you definitely want to make a decision about your life. What do you want? Do you want to stay in something that is harmful and could be deadly?
Mm,
Let the truth be told, it could be deadly.
yes.
Is that what you want for your life? I would not encourage anyone to stay in a situation where a crime is being committed. And verbal abuse is emotionally death. That's emotional death. If someone is just constantly badgering you and talking negatively about you and against you, that's emotional death. So
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage any woman who's in that situation to seek professional help. Go to the authorities if you're being physically abused. That is a serious, serious crime, and it's a serious nature, and you need to get help immediately.
Yes, and I'm glad that I asked that question and brought that up because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month as
Yes,
well as breast cancer. So, like you said, that's a crime. I like how you put that. The Bible may say that the only way out is through infidelity, but the Bible says the follow the laws of the land, and if
yeah,
that person is committing a crime, that means that you need to follow what happens when a person commits a crime.
yes.
I thank you for that response because so many people are going through so much, and we do have men
It's
that
serious.
weaponize the
It's serious.
Bible.
Yeah,
Yeah, they weaponize the Bible and use that against women and say, "Well, God this, and if you forgive it,"
yeah.
and it's like we're not using that.
We're
We're
not
going
gonna do
to
that.
we
Mm-mm.
we're not. We're going to follow the laws of the land.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
God, the
go ahead.
other thing is God considers the church his bride, and God is a caring God, compassionate, loving. So that's how we're supposed to treat one another with love.
And He honors marriages.
Yes.
He takes that that's close to him. So if
Yes.
you're doing your wife wrong,
That's
you
right.
going wrong. And opposite, even for men that's going through the physical and verbal,
Right.
you don't have to accept that from your woman.
That's
You know,
right.
get yourself out. So my final question, and then we're going to, because we still got time to go into your book and the services. What has been the worst and best experience for you this far as a marriage mogul slash counselor?
The best thing that has happened to me as the marriage planning mogul is just being able to connect with women and men who are serious about their relationships and really wanting to do things the right way, really wanting to sit down and ask some questions, find out some things they don't know, get some tools in their toolbox so that they can navigate relationships in a more healthy way. So just connecting with people, that's a passion of mine, and I absolutely love it. I think the worst thing is to see people in unhealthy relationships and deciding that they're going to stay there.
Mm, yeah,
That's hard to,
yeah.
because you kind of know how it's going to turn out, unfortunately.
Especially when you seeing and looking at the best, some really good people, and
Yeah.
and you can see how this person is manipulating
Yeah.
them, and they don't see it,
They
and
don't. Yeah.
the manipulator knows that you see them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And some people see it, they're just in denial because they're in fear or they don't have the courage to get out of it. They know, but they just don't have that courage. And
Yeah.
that's sad to see. That breaks my heart.
Yeah, and it could be hard. So all those who are dealing with that, get on your knees and say a prayer for yourself. Not
Yeah.
not in holding hands with that person, not when they're in the house, not when they're around. You might want to get out that house what you share
Yeah.
with them in that space and go into your own sacred place, your car, a bathroom, and
Yeah.
pray and ask something to come upon you to give you the strength to walk out of that situation. We're getting ready to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to be letting you guys know how you can actually connect with my special guest from today and be able to purchase her book and get yourself the help that you need, because I don't want you out here just doing anything. I want you to be doing the right thing. So we getting ready to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hold on before you blink. I'll be right back on, so don't go anywhere. Hey, what's up, you guys? I just want to let you know that I am seeking book authors to become a guest on our show. Now, it was Instagram Live, but now we're on all three platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So, this is your way to grow and reach more people. Don't forget to email us at the LOF Network at gmail.com. And you can become a guest on the show and also have your book placed within the show. All right, you guys. I look forward to hearing from you soon. And to give a shout out to our book sponsor, just some recognition. This author's still holding on, you guys. Somebody need to fill his slack. This is author Dayon McLaren Johnson. The name of the book is called Becoming Lion. It is an exploration of mentorship and the quest for identity. So you guys make sure you check this book out on Amazon. It's a good read, and it's actually what our youth need. And if I could recommend a book, it would be Stillness is the Key. I have this up there because sometimes we need to sit still. That's the key to your success. That's the key to your healing. That's the key to better health. Sitting still with yourself. And this is by Ryan Holiday. So you guys can check this out. This is an older book, but it's a book that never gets old. How about that? Teaching you how to sit still. I don't want that to fall off. But we get ready to bring my special guest back into the studio, joining us, Miss Burton. She's the marriage planning mogul, helping you guys to make the right decisions and think about the right things before you walk down that aisle or even get on that knee to ask the question, to get someone to say I do and put that ring on that finger. Would you like you should have put a ring? Somebody need to put a ring on me. Look, I want the ring before the right reason.
Oh, 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 oh. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. Hey.
Show my shirt while I do it.
I like that. I like that shirt.
Yes, and representing the DC with the 3 stars. But so let us know the name of your book and what it's about and how
Okay.
you can purchase it.
My book is titled Do I? It's a question. Do I? And it's questions to answer before you say I do. It's a compilation of questions. There are 7 chapters. We start with the spiritual. We talk about the psychological and emotional. We talk about friendship. We talk about the physical. We talk about family, finances. We talk about fun. And it can be ordered on my website, which is marriageplanningmogul.com, or you can get it on Amazon or wherever books are sold. And you can follow me on Instagram, Marriage Planning Mogul. On Facebook, it's Marriage Planning Makes Sense. But the book is titled Do I? So what I did with that title is I took the I do and I just turned it around, because sometimes we focus so much, like you said earlier, focus on the wedding, and that
Mhm.
wedding is going to come and go. It's just an event.
Just
And
a
not
day.
to downplay it, but the rest of your life is what you need to be planning.
Mhm.
So instead of saying I do and focusing on I do, turn that thing around and start asking yourself some questions. You know, do I trust God to choose my mate? Do I trust his timing? Do I understand covenant? Do I understand compromise and sacrifice? Start asking yourself, do I know who I am?
Mm,
At the very core of who I was made to be, do I know who I am? Do I know what I want? So
mm,
it's a compilation of questions. It's really about a person focusing on themselves and doing that self-assessment and introspection before they even think about the other person and what their challenges are. Get yourself right first. Look at
mm.
the woman and the man in the mirror.
Yeah,
Ask
yeah.
him or her to change her ways.
Okay, sing that song to yourself while you're looking. Just tell, just do I need
Yeah,
to change my ways? And like you said, do I? Because it's always the question of do you? But do I? Like, do I really want to? There it is. Do I? Do I really question to answer before you say I do? Do you really want to do this? You know what I had to just to be honest, to be transparent with my issue is I fear because my mom is older and I see her, not married and lonely and not even
mhm,
in a relationship. And I'm looking and I'm saying, I fear being older and doing that.
uh-huh,
She's in her 70s and it's
yep,
like, it's too much work now for her to probably even invest in meeting a guy, although
yeah,
they're doing it. But it's like,
yeah,
the fear of me not wanting to be that is making me consider I want to get married. But then as I'm doing this healing this year, and then I
mhm,
just had a healing circle with my women, what I realize is there's no rush to it. It
that's
can
right,
happen at any moment. And
that's
although
right,
you've been single on me for 7 years, that does not mean that it won't happen 5 years and 3 years. And I'm enjoying life so much by myself. What is wrong with that?
right,
It's the also seeing people walk and hold hands. And it's like, you can date and do that. You can get
right,
the perks of that without having to jump and know you're not ready to walk down that
that's
daggone.
right, that's right.
So this week I've been having some, and the week just started today. So let's say yesterday and today and a little bit of last week, I've been having these aha moments with that and just saying, you know what, you got deal breakers,
Yep.
stick to them. Don't fall back and say it's 7 years. Maybe I need to go a little easier. No,
Mm-mm.
you're doing the work. You're actually helping other people do the work. So why
Right.
should you have to lessen who you are to have the love? It's okay.
It's okay.
I get a body pillow to cuddle with sometimes, I have a glass of wine to get me to sleep sometimes,
Come on, come
So
on, glass of wine.
and I'm gonna tell you one thing that ain't good that I know gets me to sleep is whenever I can't sleep for some reason, the enemy is always working. All I gotta do is pick up that Bible and start reading.
That's right. That's
He
right.
bring all types of
That
sleep.
Bible.
So once I start reading the word, I hear something and I'm being informed and telling myself I'm good. The sleep come on me and I fall asleep in a good way.
Yeah.
So I think the planning is needed. So what are some of the services that you provide?
I provide relationship coaching. I provide clarity calls. It kind of starts with the clarity call, just so that I can get an idea of where your heart is, what your goals are in terms of relationships, dating. Some people do the coaching for dating, just for dating. And some people do the coaching for actually trying to get ready for marriage. So the relationship coaching, the clarity calls. I also do speaking engagements. I do event emceeing. So if you are having an event like a women's conference or some type of anything relating to spiritual topics or dating, relationships, love, marriage, I have a very jovial personality. I love being on stage so I can keep an audience entertained and engaged. So I am an event MC, so I offer those services and speaking and then the relationship coaching.
I want to add in for all my women who have good energy and this high frequency, such as ourselves, and we don't mind getting in front of the light
Hey,
going. We're gonna go here. Matter of fact, if you can't leave, we're gonna take control because we ain't gonna just follow no fool down the aisle
come on
anyway.
now.
Thing. You want another red flag is you got to make sure that man ain't jealous of the person that you are. Because
That's right.
when you are a businesswoman or a strong, opinionated woman or a woman that don't mind the light and people gravitate to you, you got to
Yeah,
make sure also that that man won't be jealous because
that's
just
right.
like he gravitated to you, other people going to do the same. And when you the light, you cut the lights on. So
Come
of
on
course
now.
people gonna be like, oh, it ain't dark no more. This
Hey,
is what's going
yes,
on. So ladies, that's another red flag to pay attention to if they do that.
that's right.
So is there any I can never let my guess. Is there anything that you want to say before we go before I get you this last thing to say?
Yeah, I want to say to all my singles out there, and especially those who desire to be married, I want to just encourage your hearts. I want you to hang in there. I want you to enjoy life as a single person. Really be comfortable with who you are, be comfortable in your skin. If there are some things you want to change about you that's just for you, do that. You don't have to do that for another person, but do that for yourself. And take the time to go on vacations, have a group of girlfriends, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be 2 or 3 people. Y'all go out to eat, y'all go to concerts, y'all travel,
Yeah.
enjoy life, enjoy this time of independence and freedom. Enjoy this time when you don't have to consider another person if you want to go do something. So just enjoy this time. Take the time to just continue to pray and ask God to give you the desires of your heart, and make sure that you are doing your work before you get into a serious relationship. If there are some unhealed wounds that are there, please seek professional help. Please get help and get those wounds bound up and healed up before you try to go into another relationship. You want to be in a healthy relationship, and you do want a forever marriage. And so take your time, enjoy life, and just know that you are a treasure and that you are loved by God. And I love you too. If you need any help, just marriageplanningmogul.com.
Listen, my last thing that I always asks the guests to leave with is something positive, and you did that for us. So I thank you for joining us here on the Stub Show. You continue cutting the lights on in people's relationships and in their mindsets and within their spiritual being to know that they are great. And y'all
Yes.
make sure y'all get a copy of the book Do I
Do
before you say I do. There it goes right there. So you guys make sure you check out Miss Janice Burton, the marriage planning mogul. I
Thank
thank
you
you for
so much for
joining
having
me.
me.
Yes, thank you, sis. And this will be reposted, repurposed, reshared, everything throughout the week and throughout the month. So I thank you. And I might gotta include you as part of one of my future women's group, bring you on
Yes.
virtual in our private space.
Yes.
So
I
we
would
can
love that.
ask the questions that we need to ask during our healing process. So you
Yes.
continue having a great evening,
You
and
too.
we'll stay in touch, stay in contact.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You have a good evening.
You
You
too.
guys, oh my God, that was a great interview. You guys make sure you follow her on Facebook, and that's at Marriage Planning Makes Sense. And also on Instagram at Marriage Planning Mogul. I enjoyed that. I'm telling you, Miss Janice Burton, hailing up out of Texas, she did her thing. She came on here to bring you what you need. Pay attention to those red flags, ladies. Don't let social media encourage you to think that marriage is just all about the hoopla of the wedding dress and the wedding event and that day. That day is just a couple of hours, and you might feel like getting a divorce and not walking down the aisle before you even get to that day because of what happens through that, and then the money that has to be invested into that. So take down the notes for what you need to consider before you say I do. Make sure you get a copy of that book, Do I, before you walk down that aisle, and continue to build yourself. If you're just getting out of a relationship or you just getting out of a marriage, take some time for yourself. You see people that just go bounce from a relationship to a relationship to a relationship. Let that also be a red flag for the person that you're dating. If they just came from out of a relationship and they ready to jump into one, they ready to leave that and get into one with you, somewhere in it, they haven't taken time to have that dependency on themselves, because they would want to tell you, hey, babe, let's back up for a little bit. Let's continue to date. And I need this space and time for myself so that I can heal before I say I do to you. And that's even I do to an exclusive, committed relationship. Have those people, make sure that those people have first learned, and know how to commit to themselves. So we're getting ready to end the show for today. I have a music artist for today that we will be putting up. Remember, if you would like to be a guest on the show, just email us. And if you also have new music that's out that you would want us to play on the show, then all you have to do is get it to me here on the Stub Show by sending an email. Let's see if this comes on, but I had another way of doing it. Let's see if I can find this file. I thank you guys once again for joining me every week for another episode of the Stub Show. So let me see if I put it over here. All right, I'm just going to play it from here. This artist goes by the name of Day Helen out of California, now living in Puerto Rico. This is called Stay a While. You can check it out on Amazon. On YouTube. Guys, make sure you check it out.
Before I get to know
out on YouTube right
How do
there.
you love like that?
From
How
my
do you
tribe.
love like that? Give love but don't get love. Nobody can love.
Oh, that's such a beautiful song. Yes, I love the melody with it. It's right there down there, you guys. You can check Day out. The name of that song is Stay a While. So make sure you guys check her out on YouTube. Put that in. Remember, you guys, I'm looking for jewelry. I'm looking for products to be a part of the show. I am looking for I'm looking for new guests. I'm looking for new music, all types of things. So come be a part of the show, no matter what state or country you are in. Coming up next week, we will be having someone hailing all the way in from Australia to talk to you guys, as well as we will be bringing up. We will be having a show on breast cancer awareness. We can't let October go by without discussing that. I am looking for two people to join me for a show at the end of this month on politics. I know it can be risky talking about it, but I want to discuss it. We got to get into it before these elections come up. So if you're not afraid and you ain't scared, then make sure you guys connect with me at the LOF network. Let me put that on the screen so you guys can know where to connect with me if you are on YouTube and or Instagram or Facebook. I'm so thankful to be able to broadcast to you guys on all platforms. So there you go, right there. That's coming from the Stub Show on Facebook. I'm getting ready to go, you guys. If you got a cup that you want to send me, I need some little coffee mugs to drink my tea out of for future shows. If you want to design a shirt for me, you can send that in too. You just need to DM me on Instagram at the underscore Stubbs underscore show. I almost forgot my own show name, huh? How about that? All right, I got to go. I'll see you guys next week. Remember, I'm normally on every Monday and Wednesday, but this week is just going to be on Monday. I will be back next week for more episodes. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube at the Leap of Faith Network. We have some great shows on there. And coming up this Sunday, I will be going live from my girl Shelly Yacht Girl Spice Cuisine to teach you guys how to cook a Caribbean dish. Yes, she's going to be teaching us that and help me get some little bit more book tag. So you guys make sure you join me live. And I also have another live guest coming into the studio, Helen, right out of DC. He's a rapper and he's going to be coming on to talk about his journey. So I got to go, you guys. I will see you next week for another episode of The Stub Show. The Stub Show. The Stub Show. The Stub Show. I got to go.